ignoring the mess, I am packing for a shoot today. So it'll be pretty typical interview and B-roll. So A-cam will be FX6 on sticks. I'll probably run the 24-70 or potentially my 50 mil. I'd like to go 35. I want to start shooting more wide shots on interviews on 35. I tend to always shoot them at 50, but I want to start shooting them a little wider, just to give some more of the space, more of the interviewee. I don't know, just something I want to start doing. So we've got our accessory case here, batteries and audio, and our camera case here with accessories, our B-cam, the FX3, and lenses, and then camera case here. There'll be a few new pieces of equipment in this vlog that you will probably see. I got my, I did my taxes, got my tax return, and got approved for way more than I thought I was going to. So I decided to make a few more investments, and maybe this time I'll mean it when I say these are the last ones before I I slow down. But yeah, it'll be a pretty standard interview and B-roll situation today. So I just want to walk you guys through my process. And I actually did create this lighting plot here. So feel free to take a look at that. I created two options. I wasn't sure. The space that we're going to be in is a student kitchen attached to a greenhouse. So I wasn't sure if it would be preferable for the client to have the kitchen as the backdrop or the greenhouse. I think the client wants the greenhouse. I think he initially wanted to shoot in the greenhouse, but I'm worried about the noise in there. We'll go ahead and see. But it's going to be a pretty bright space. So I think the two challenges will be matching the tone of the room and creating some negative, creating some contrast on the interviewee's face with negative fill. So there's going to be two things that I'm really focusing on today, as well as just creating some visual interest with lights in the background. I really want to start leveling up my game when it comes to shaping light. So the good news is with matching light is that it is cloudy and rainy and stormy outside. We actually had a tornado watch last night. So luckily I'm totally fine. Everything near me is totally fine. I don't think there was anything catastrophic, but yeah, so that should help with overall levels as long as the sun doesn't come out. So assuming it stays cloudy, we should be okay to totally match the level of the space. It's obviously going to be very bright because it's a greenhouse, and yeah, so we're going to want to make sure we can match that. So I don't think I've technically done it yet because I still have the front seat open, but I am pretty sure that I'm getting close to maxing out this car's capacity. I swapped out the big impact case that I have that's got a bunch of my grip stuff in it. I actually ordered a set of Studio crates, so those will be here hopefully by the end of the week, which I'm going to swap those Studio crates out for this milk crate here, and some other grip stuff. So hopefully those will help with the overall organization. This is a sneak peek of one of the new pickups I had with the tax return. So you'll see that guy later today. And obviously it's taking up some space, but like I said, think I am pretty close to maxing out this car's capacity when it comes to loading in gear. This is load one for the cart. It's in a pretty good spot right now. I think as I'm trying to problem solve all of my gear solutions, I think something that would be helpful, you can see I've got a whole bunch of stands in here and just long things, would be a case that can roll with all of this in it, or at least a lot of it, for all these lighter impact stands that are, you know, about 46 inches long maybe when they're all folded up. If I had a case that was 48 inches long that rolled, that was light and thin, I could, you know, slim it down all the way across here, and it just has a bunch of these in it, and I could roll all these in one load. That'd be great, because I can load in 3 lights, both my camera cases, and with which my camera bag's already loaded in, but everything I need for my camera, 3 lights, stingers, grip gear, softbox, all this stuff in one load. So if I had one more load that I could take in that would get all of my long stuff in there, that would be super helpful. So I'm gonna research that a little bit and see if I can find a solution. If you guys have anything that'd be helpful, let me know. That's lightweight and could hold a bunch of these smaller impact stands. That'd be super helpful. So I'm assuming you can hear the very large amount of sound coming from fans and just general things that are running in here. This is where the interview ideally was going to happen, but I don't think we're going to be able to turn all this stuff off. I will ask the question, but I'm 90% sure that we're not going to be able to turn this stuff off. So instead, we will be moving into the kitchen over through that glass, which is going to be our interview spot. So I'm all loaded in. This is everything. Here, all this stuff. So I'm just going to start staging stuff because there's a class going on right now in the kitchen, but eventually I will move my stuff into there and we'll kind of fully set up in there. Here's a little breakdown of the setup. FX6 on sticks with the 24-70, right around 35 mil for the A cam. And then you'll see over here, FX3 on second set of sticks with the 70-200. Pretty sure I had it right around 70 as well. I threw a variable ND on there just for a tighter angle. Boom mic overhead. I also use the DJI Mic 2s as a secondary lav option. You can see the Amaran 300C with the softbox as a hair light / fill, the GVM 200B in the back, and then right here the big boy, the new light, the Aperture 600D Pro. I picked this up used on B&H a few days ago, and it just came in, which was great because I had this thing on 100% through that big softbox, and it was very necessary to get the amount of light I needed for the interview. You can see I've got it in the big 48-inch softbox. It's also on this brand new Kupo MIDI Max baby stand, I believe is the name. It is ironically the smallest of those regular stands that I own, but it is much beefier, much stronger, and it holds the 600D up very, very well. This light in the back here, I wanted to show all that gleam that you're seeing and all the shine that you're seeing on the shelving unit right there. That's from the light in the background. After the interview was set up, you can see some stills of what that looked like here. I was pretty happy with how it looked. Key light with the 600D Pro, hair light / fill with the 300C, and then just bringing in that background light with the GVM 200B. Just a creative fill. I ended up not using any negative fill, partially because I didn't have time, partially because I thought it looked pretty nice without. I actually was fighting for exposure. I thought I'd be a little bit overexposed in some capacity, but I was actually fighting to get enough light. This job, by the way, is part of a retainer that I'm on. This is the high school that I attended, and there were a bunch of projects that were going on, and essentially he was like, can I just put you on retainer to do all these projects? And it was a good amount of money, so I said, yes, let's do it. So I'm not getting necessarily paid a day rate for this shoot. I just came in for a few hours, set everything up, did all this stuff, followed them around for some B-roll, and packed up, and then I'm just getting a specific amount deposited every 2 weeks. So the retainer deal has been pretty nice, especially for where I am in my life right now. Consistent income has been very helpful and very welcomed. So it's been cool to have that retainer model for the first time. You can see me working with the Easy Rig here, and I'll talk really quick. One of the new things I picked up, you can see right there, is the Shape V-mount battery hot swap plate. Now I use V-mount batteries and I use the tilt-a-mount, which means that I can't put an Sony BPU battery into the camera. But what I can do is put that hot swap plate on, which has a 35 watt-hour battery inside of it, I believe. And what that does is it mounts onto the back of the camera and then allows me to mount V-mount batteries onto the plate itself. So how it technically works is the hot swap plate is powering the camera always, and the V-mount battery is charging the hot swap plate constantly. So in my mind, Shape is a very reputable brand, so it provides an extra layer of protection if I'm using cheap V-mount batteries. The Shape plate is what is powering my camera, so it's providing a steady amount of power regardless of how cheap or expensive the V-mount batteries are. So it's a layer of protection there, and it allows me to hot swap. That's the nicest thing. So I can just pop a battery off, pop a new one on, don't have to turn on or off my camera or unplug the SDI cables or anything like that. So it's been a nice change of pace for
the workflow for my camera for the FX6, and really kind of feels like that final piece to make the rig as fully functioning as I'd like it to be. So one last thing I'll talk about is something that I did over the past month. So I am in a place where I'm looking for, a little extra money wherever I can find it. I'm getting married in September, and I am my fiance and I have just started our house shopping process. So any money obviously is very welcomed. So I went through some equipment that I own and looked at what I would be able to sell. And I ended up finding 4 things that I don't really use anymore. And those things are this was a little bit a while ago, but the Atomos Ninja 5, I sold that. I sold the Rode Wireless Go 2s. Once again, I'm borrowing the DJI Mic 2s that belong to my church and using those whenever I need lavs. They are infinitely better and infinitely more connectable to the FX6. I don't know if that's a word or not. But I just have no use for the Rode Go's. So I sold those. I sold the DJI Raven Eye wireless transmitter because I have the Pyro 7. That is a transmitter and monitor in one. And then I sold the kit lens that came with my Sony a6600, the 18-135 kit lens. Had no use for that either. Haven't touched it in months. Oh, and then the 5th thing, I guess, was the FX3 XLR handle. Now that I have the FX6, I have not used, which I don't even think before the FX6 I've used the XLR handle more than once, ever. Plus my dad teaches a video class, and he's got some FX30s, and he's got some spare XLR handles, the exact same model. So if I ever need one, I can borrow one. But I've owned the FX3 for about a year now, and I have used it once, and I now have an FX6 with XLR inputs. So yeah, I say all that to say, I made really good money on all of those things. I think in total I made about $1,000, not including the Ninja 5. I think it was over 1,000. And I would, and I did this on Facebook Marketplace, by the way. So if you have gear and you are looking for some extra cash, purge your kit, go through and what are things I haven't used in a while? What are things I'm not making money with anymore? What are things that I would rather have the money for than the item itself? And a good question to ask is like, if I had the money instead of the thing, would I buy the thing? If that makes sense. So like, if I sold the Raven Eye for $100, right? Let's say I had $100, would I go out and buy a Raven Eye for $100 if I didn't have it? Very much no. Again, I have the Pyro 7. It's a transmitter and a monitor, so I don't need a separate transmitter device. So yeah, purge your kit, go through, make some extra money, and just a little bit of advice for something that made me some money. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little interview setup. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Peace out, guys.